Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Wow, I tell you what, there's so much, and I say this a lot, but it's true. There's so much to talk about. There are so many freaking stories out there right now that I don't even know where to start. I've got next week's show notes started, and I'm trying to pack in all these stories and not ignore any of them. I don't know about you kids out there in the Student of the Gun home audience, but would you like to go a whole entire week, like 7 days, like a calendar week, not a work week, but an entire calendar week without an attack from the missionaries of the death cult known as Islam? Would you like to go 7 whole days? Do you think that's just way too much to ask, Jared?
I think it might be too much to ask.
I mean, we're asking way too much of the goat rapists to go 7 whole entire days without an atrocity or an attack on the Western world or the civilized world.
You know what's crazy? Sometimes I'm like, man, what are we going to talk about? I think we're running out of stories, and then something crops up and we're not running out of stories.
Dude, I'm in the position now where I'm serious. I'm being totally serious here. I'm super serial. Man, bear, pig.
Do you personally believe?
I personally believe in man, bear, pig. No. That we talked previously about police officers and security, professional security, armies, and wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we didn't need police officers? Wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we didn't need, bodyguards and professional security people and armies and so forth, because everyone in the world just knew how to behave themselves? And it would be fantastic if I didn't have to talk about this. If I could get on the radio and talk about a Savage Model 110 chambered in 243 and what wonderful things it does on groundhogs, that'd be great. If I could talk about going out and laying on the side of a hill and whacking prairie dogs all day, and that was all we needed to talk about, man, that'd be awesome.
So here's what you guys do.
Fix the world?
Yes. Everybody that's listening, help us fix the world. And then you can hear what makes you feel nice.
Yeah, then we can talk about cowboy action shooting and three gun and skeet and trap, and we can talk about all.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about skeet on this radio show.
No, or trap, can we talk about gun golf? Gun golfers?
We can talk about gun golf.
Okay, we can talk about gun golf. But so here we are, and we're smack dab in what we've decided here at Student of the Gun University. We decided to call this the Summer of Love, the Muslim Missionary Summer of Love, as the religion of peace and brotherhood is spreading its message all across the globe. It started out, well, you know who kicked it off? Little Johnny, I think I'm gay, but I'm not sure, jihad goat rapist down there. He should have just stuck to goats. Down in Orlando, he started out the Summer of Love with his little jihad, with his intifada or whatever he wanted.
You know how the religion of peace, how it's okay to fornicate with little boys. So do the goats have to be boys, or do they have to be girls?
I think the
goats
goats
matter because they're animals.
I don't know. I don't know any hardcore Muslim missionaries or death cultists, but you might want to save that question for them. But I think it's open season on goats. If I had to be honest there. So yeah, little Johnny Jihad. I'm not sure if I'm gay or not, and people hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna kill the infidel in Orlando.
Did you see the latest?
He kicked off the Summer of Love. Which latest
narrative that they're releasing?
Oh, about how he was upset because he was being picked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
Like, well, there's two sides of the coin here. You teach kids that they're not allowed to fight back when they're being picked on. Mm-hmm. So why is it okay in this instance? And also, is being picked on reason enough to go commit a mass murder
here's
like
the thing,
this?
Jared. You know as well as I do that all these news stories are deflection and propaganda. They're trying to get you to forget that whatever his name was, I don't even know or care. I don't remember. I put it out of my mind. Goat rapist. They're trying to get you to forget that, we already know for a fact that the fix is in, that the state altered the tapes, that they scrubbed when he got on the phone with the 911 operator and gave him the whole, Dirk Muhammad Jihad, praise Allah thing. They substituted the word Allah for God, which is propaganda. And then when he pledged his support for ISIS and, hating the infidel, all that stuff was redacted and crossed out. We shared it with you before. Why would you do that? Why would the state be interested in hiding the fact that this guy was a hardcore jihadi?
Well, they just they didn't want to further his message.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and they really have our best interest at mind.
That's why
at heart.
When one of these guys, they get on YouTube and they make all these death to the infidel, or they're part of the Nation of Islam or Black Lives Matter or the new Black Panther Party. They get on the YouTube machine and the Facebook machine there, and they do all these death to crackers, death to police, death to the infidel videos. And then they act on it. And the first thing that YouTube does and Facebook is they scrub their accounts. Well, yeah, we did that out of respect for the victims. Really? You did that out of respect for the victims? Right. So little Malcolm Jabaz, X, gets on YouTube and makes all these kill the police, I hate crackers, kill whitey videos. And you don't have a problem with that. You'll leave that up. They'll make pages about, Black Power and the New Order and, the Nation of Islam and Fight the Power and all that. They'll do that, and Facebook doesn't pull theirs. But our fans, people who like firearms and the Constitution, they get their Facebook pages closed down all the time. They get put in Facebook jail for displaying an image of the Confederate flag. Because that's racist.
That actually happened.
Yeah. Oh, no,
we're not making that up.
Yeah, this has happened. So, Google and Facebook, if you have a Confederate flag as a part of your motif on your page, they'll ban you and shut you down. But if you support the Nation of Islam or the New Black Panthers or BLM, all three groups that have publicly, we have documented evidence. So don't write me.
No. Black Lives Matter. They are peaceful.
Except
and the people in
even when they're yelling for death of cops.
Oh, but that wasn't the Black Lives Matter movement, and it didn't happen after the police killed a black man. And also, the people in the murderer in Dallas is not affiliated with Black Lives Matter, even though he said he was.
Even though he said he was.
And the Black Lives Matter people did not. They absolutely did not destroy a city in Ferguson. Mm-hmm. Ferguson.
Oh, they didn't tear. Yeah, it's a peaceful movement about dealing with injustice. If you believe that, well, first of all, I don't think very many people in my audience would believe that. But
I actually had somebody that messaged us through the Student of the Gun Facebook last night, and I was feeling, okay, let's have a conversation, just because I'm bored.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean,
all the brain cells and oxygen wasted.
Yeah. It wasn't like a hardcore argument. It was just like a conversation back and forth. And there's no helping the people that think that the Black Lives Matter movement
cognitive
is
dissonance.
That think it's not a violent movement.
They can't accept it. They can't. You know what?
Do you know what I told the person?
What?
He found us via the Fox News video that you did.
The grocery video.
Yeah, the grocery video. And at the end of the conversation, I basically said that, look, you found us because of the content that we put out. I said, if you spent as much time producing content as you just did having a discussion with me, then maybe somebody on the other side of your argument or your movement would find your content and have a conversation with you. Because here at Student of the Gun, we've put out literally thousands of hours of content for people to digest our message. And if you base your, if you base what you think of us off of 1 3-minute, 5-minute video, then you're part of the problem.
Well, and you're weak.
Yeah.
I don't have time I really don't have time for weak people. I don't. We're way beyond the time where I have no tolerance for weakness. No tolerance for weakness. And I have no tolerance for cognitive indifference or just flat out selfish lies. And hey, Jared, here's an inconvenient truth. Police officers were murdered. White police officers were flat out murdered in Dallas and Baton Rouge. Are the white people burning Baton Rouge and Dallas down to the ground? Oh, it's different. It's different. It's different. Yeah, because the people, the criminals that died in confrontations with police officers died because of their actions. They died because of the behavior that they chose to engage in. When you rob stores and then get into a fight with the police and try and take the police gun from them and you get shot, guess what? You got what you had coming to you. You notice what they're not talking about now in Baltimore, Jared? Oh, that not only, hell, I got to add this to the show notes. Crap. Not only were all the police officers in Baltimore exonerated, the state that trial was such a sham. That whole entire prosecution was such a sham that they're moving to disbar the prosecutors who brought that case.
Wow.
It was such a travesty of justice.
You know what pisses me off? It's the fact that...
But we're not talking about that. Oh,
yeah. The fact that they're engaging in divisive behavior. In the end, are we not all Americans? Unless you don't want to be an American, then I'm not talking to you. In the end, America, we're all Americans and American lives matter.
No.
But no, we have to divide it.
It's the politics of victimization.
It pisses me off.
Yeah. We're talking about the politics of victimization. And this isn't new. This has been going on for decades, if not centuries. Divide the people into victim classes, convince them that they're victims of some type of plot or some type of government run, where a government run program or pre-existing prejudice and racism and unfairness and blah, blah, blah. Divide them into small little victim groups, and then they'll be easy to control. And what's a shame, what is just really sad for me, is that there's a entire class of people that inhabit the United States of America that seem perfectly happy to spend their entire lives, every generation for the last 4 or 5, as victims. It's not my fault. Walton and Johnson said it today. They said, yeah, you know what? You keep going down the path that you're going down, and you're going to have the life of a dog. Dog never has to go to the grocery store. Dog gets taken care of. He gets brought in the house or whatever. But the dog has no freedom. The dog is kept. It's fed when the owners tell it it's going to be fed. It's fed what the owners tell it it will eat. It's put in the laundry room or the kennel when the owners feel like putting it away. And it's petted when the owners feel like petting it. But the dog has no freedom. In the end, you say, oh man, a dog's life. Yeah, a dog's life, it's that of a kept creature. And we have an entire class of human beings occupying the United States of America that are perfectly happy in their slavery, in their tax slavery. As long as they vote for the right people, they get the free stuff. But as soon as they don't, the moment you don't vote right, you're not going to get the free stuff anymore.
I didn't mean to get you off track.
You did.
We should get back on track now.
Okay. Baltimore. I'm adding stuff to next week's show notes. Holy crap. Jeez Louise. All right. It's Thursday, and it's the last day of the public broadcast of Student of the Gun Radio. And we're glad that you're here with us. And if you are a grad program member, we've got a good one for you tomorrow. Let me scroll down. New York citizens screwed again. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow on the grad program. But today we're going to thank our friends at Duracoat, because life's too short to have an ugly gun. Most certainly is. Our friends at Brownells. And if you want to pick up some Duracoat products, go to brownells.com. You can do that. While you're there, pick up some Frog Lube products. Why not? It's a bio-based firearms lubricant and cleaner. Cleaner, lubricant, protectant, and they also have a solvent. Did you know that too? You can get actually
What are they solving?
They're solving the problem of dirty guns.
Okay. I just heard you say solvent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they can solvent. You know what I mean?
They can solvent that. Century Arms, a Swedish-smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. And last but certainly not least, at least on my show notes list right now, SWAT Fuel. Go to SWATfuelstore.com and get your 9mm plus P or your red pills or your 40 cal multivitamins. But
I traveled cross country, didn't get sick, and I firmly believe it's because I doubled up on my 40 cal. I always get sick.
You went to high elevation too, and you didn't have elevation sickness, did you?
Yep. Nope, I did not.
Tell them the promo code they're going to use.
SOTG2015. And if you're a grad program member, go to studentofthegunradio.com. Click on the partner discounts page, and you will get a little bit more off of SWAT Fuel and also some other companies.
There you go.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Das geht an die Oma des letzten Propheten Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ich bin Allah so dankbar, ein Muslim sein zu dürfen. Das geht an die Oma, wir sind die Oma. Check das aus. Bismillah.
The Mixmaster is mixing it up for the second time this week. Hey, it's not my fault. It's the Summer of Love. It's a Summer of Love worldwide. And Muslim missionaries.
Is that a new hashtag? Summer of Love?
Summer of Love, it should be. Johnny Jihad, and this story comes to us from the telegraph.co.uk. And, well, what happened? Let's see. The dateline is 19 July 2016, and the story was posted at 8:40 p.m. And the title of the story is French woman and her 3 daughters stabbed by Moroccan man in Alpine Resort. And you're like, well, what's up with Moroccan people? And why would they want to stab a French mother and her daughters? Oh, a French woman and her 3 young daughters were seriously wounded in a knife attack at an Alpine resort on Tuesday by a man who reportedly claimed that they were scantily dressed. The man was arrested after the attack at the Alpine Resort in Gardes-Colombe near Laurent in southern France. The youngest girl, age 8, was rushed to a hospital with a punctured lung, according to initial reports. Her mother, 46, and sisters 12 and 14 were treated in the hospital closer to the scene of the attack. Their injuries were serious but not life-threatening. So, just what's the story here? Well, initial reports claim that the man struck because he was angered by the women being scantily dressed. Raphael Balland, prosecutor of GAP, GAP, said, I wanted to quash the rumor currently doing the rounds because in no account is this man make comments about the fact that they were motivated. Oh, I wanted to quash the rumor currently doing the rounds because on no account did this man make such comments about the fact that the attack may have been motivated by the victim's dress. Now, the attacker's name has been given as Mohammed B., age 37, and French television is reporting that he acted out of religious motivation. Despite the prosecutor's denial. Jared, why would a member of the French government try and poo-poo any speculation that these women were attacked by a Moroccan named Mohammed because they were scantily dressed?
Isn't Mohammed the leader of the religion of peace?
Oh, yeah. He stabbed the girls while they ate their breakfast on a terrace of their chalet. The local mayor says, we will not speculate about the motive of the attack. Really? Really? Really, France? After what just happened in Nice, what happened in Paris multiple times, when is the French government going to nut up? And see, Jared, this is why Europe is lost. Because the people may be angry, okay, and you say, hey, the people of France, Paul, oh, and I know that I have people listening to me in France, England, Germany. I know that we have people listening in Europe. And you say, oh, no, you don't understand. The French people are getting angry. The French people are fed up. Really? Because your government is all about making excuses for these monsters and then covering up their behavior. Holy crap! How many more times do we have to hear this? It's insane. It is literally, we are living in an upside down, insane world. I mean, this is like an episode of the effing Twilight Zone.
This whole situation has made Professor Paul all upside down face.
It's given me, yeah. So we've got a Moroccan. Who in the world? Explain this to me there, French government officials. What people in the world on planet Earth will attack women because they don't like the way they're dressed? I need an answer. Alex, I've got my answer, Alex. What is Islam? Thank you for the win. 10,000 points. The question, the answer is a religion of peace that attacks women for being scantily dressed. And the question is, what is Islam? Thank you, Alex. Thank you for playing. Name one other group in the world. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Name one other group or organization on planet Earth that will take a knife and stab a woman and her children because they're offended by the way they're dressed. Oh, okay. Wow, dude. What the farfignugan? And speaking of farfignugan, let's move a little bit farther to the north and west. And now this story again comes to us from telegraph.co.uk. And this story, continuing on with the summer of love here, was dated 20 July 2016. And German train axe attacker wrote letters saying Muslims around the world must, quote, defend themselves. I'm not really sure what they're defending themselves from because it seems like every state official on planet Earth is making excuses for their monstrous behavior. A letter left behind by a teenage refugee who attacked passengers on a train with an axe said Muslims around the world must defend themselves. It has emerged. And this is what's sick. I was talking to my wife, my beautiful, beloved wife, and this is how women think, and you got to watch women. Sometimes we need to help women. Jared, you understand that, right? We need to help them think, because women naturally think via emotion. They form their thoughts not based on logic or fact, but they form their thoughts based upon their emotions and how things make them feel. That is a fact. You can go ahead and write me letters, and you can have hissy fits all day long. I will mail you a Kotex, but here is the fact. Women base their decisions, at least their initial decisions, on how things make them feel, right? And so I mentioned this story, and my beloved wife said she referred to this guy as a kid. Yep. It was a kid. So a 17-year-old takes an axe, gets onto, I think he had an axe and a knife, gets onto, and we find out that he was devoted to the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. That's ISIS to you guys. And, or ISIL, if you want to make it seem like a little different, if you want to confuse the peasants, we'll change ISIS to ISIL. What the farfig nougat? That's another trick. That's like changing the name Osama bin Laden from OSAMA, and then we find him and kill him, and every newspaper in the world changes the spelling of his name after 12 years to USAMA. Yeah, don't forget that. That was 100% deliberate. But you're too stupid to remember because I'm playing Pokemon Go, man. Jared, we were on Highway 90 last night, and we ran into, like, by the lighthouse, a big clog of traffic. And I said, what the farfig nougat's going on here? It was like 9 o'clock at night. People are standing around, walking in the median, walking. And she said, this is a Pokemon hotspot. So I gunned it and I ran over 5 of them. No, I'm kidding.
How many points each?
So this kid, this poor little kid here, screamed "Aloha snack bar" as he attacked and stabbed multiple people on the train. How many people? I believe, here we go. The story was at least 20 people were injured, including a 62-year-old man. Let me see. But let me guess. This was a lone wolf attack, right? Do you think the world is hip to the media and state lies about lone wolf attacks? Do you think they're hip to that yet? Or do you think that the people of the world are still so stupid and mush-brained that they're believing that? What is the purpose of describing someone as a lone wolf, or that was acted alone, or blah, blah, blah? What is the purpose of that? To downplay their affiliation. So you have plausible deniability there. So if you had 5-10 guys, if you had a team or a crew of people, and they all went out and, in the name of Allah, just started stabbing and slashing and hacking people, it would be really hard for the state and the media to excuse their parent organization, right? It'd be really hard for them to say, oh, ISIS is just, that's just Islam's, they're just the JV team, and they've been contained, and we can't paint an entire religion of peace in, bad light because of the actions of, well, if it's 6 people, they're like, it's kind of hard to cover it up for them. But when it's just one, it's easy for the representatives. Heck, it's super easy in France. Heck, and they've done it in England. You remember when the nice, sweet little old lady got her head hacked off in the middle of the day in a residential neighborhood in England? A Muslim immigrant. No, it was a Muslim convert. He had recently converted to Islam, and to prove his loyalty to the faith, he went and found an infidel and praised Allah and chopped her head off. And the first thing the British cops and the spokesman for the British cops did, they ran to the nearest microphone and said, let's not rush to judgment. We don't know this is a terrorist attack. We don't know. We need to make sure we get all the facts. You notice how it doesn't work in the other direction, Jared? When a piece of white trash from South Carolina goes on a rampage, do they wait and withhold judgment, and they don't want to paint him as affiliated with anyone? No, when a piece of white trash goes on a rampage in South Carolina, within minutes, the big news media has stories running about how it's the NRA's fault. Did you know that the murders of the police in Baton Rouge and Dallas was the NRA's fault? Oh, we're going to have that for you next week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's this week, a committee of experts. Oh, you know I'm going to have fun with that. A committee of gun safety experts met in New York City to give their recommendations to stop gun violence.
I didn't see you there. I didn't see
get
Yeager
an invitation. I didn't see Ken Hackathorn or John Farnham's name on the list.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure who it was.
I don't think Clint Smith was on the list. Massad Ayub, Ken Hackathorn.
For those of you that were looking on who to train with, there you go.
There you go. I just gave you the list.
Yeah,
bam,
go
bam,
back
bam.
15 seconds and listen to those people.
You should train with one or all of those people if you have the opportunity. Actually, all the people that I just mentioned, the only one that I've never actually had the opportunity to train with or to take one of his classes is Clint Smith. And it's just because I haven't had that opportunity. When he was in Texas, when he was Thunder Ranch, Texas, in the 90s, his classes were sold out like months ahead of time. Then they closed that one and he moved way out west up into... He's in Oregon now, is he not, Jared? I believe he is. He's in Thunder Ranch Northwest. I should ask James. He knows. He's been up there. And you know what's funny about that? Just as a quick aside, and then we'll go into our we're going to do our, well, it's Thursday, so we've got, what's Thursday's special? Our Student of the Gun homeroom. Okay. But people, these internet trolls, they rail against James Yeager, and they're like, I would never train with you. I would train with a respectable, honored person like Clint Smith. James Yeager and Clint Smith are really good friends. And for all of you, like, I'd train with Clint Smith. I'd never train with James Yeager because he's an arrogant and he's dangerous and he's bad. No, James is, and I just know this because I'm friends with him. James and his wife were the personal guests of Clint and his wife when they went out there to train. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. That always makes me smile. It's like the hack who wrote us a hate mail about how I don't get my news from you. I get my news from reliable sources like Tom Gresham and Gun Talk. And the very next week, I guest hosted Gun Talk. What are you going to do now, biatches?
You ever think that things just kind of
do now?
They fall into place at a certain time for a certain reason?
Shut up. Play my music, hippie. What you gonna do
when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to the ready. It's 2012, now about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to the ready. It'll believe me just so deep into the soul of the lion's eyes. Come to the ready. Constitution of our
I got some new lyrics for that. What you gonna do when you're an internet troll living in your mom's basement, sitting in a beanbag, eating Cheetos with an orange? I can't say that.
Nope.
All right, it's time for our Student of the Gun homeroom, brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. And if you're not carrying a gun, you're wrong, but you can fix yourself quite easily by going to crossbreedholsters.com and you can pick up anything you want. I mean, they've got right-handed and left-handed, and if your gun, your favorite blaster, is if it's a current model, they probably have a holster for it. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Train in your armor. Now, that's not me saying that. That's Musashi. And one of the things that Musashi recommended was that when you go to train, when you enter the training arena, you enter the training arena as if you are going to war, if you are going to battle. And unfortunately, what we do as really super soft, comfortable Americans is we go to our training and we try to be as comfortable as possible. Now, I'm not telling you to suffer just for the sake of suffering, but how many people, Jared, what do we talk? We talked at length with our friend E.J. Owens about this, about they'll show up at a class with their super G-Wiz, full-size, Glock 17 tricked out, with all the Lone Wolf accessories and all that on it. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool, man. Is that your carry gun?" "Oh, no, I don't carry this. It's too big and I can't conceal it." "Well, what do you carry?" "Oh, I carry this 380. So you carry a Keltec P380 in your front pocket. That's your day-to-day personal defense carry gun. But when you go to a training class, you bring, "Oh, well, I don't shoot that well. I don't shoot that well with it. And I want to shoot good. I'm here to show everyone how well I can shoot." No. People, and we've talked about this, and a lot of you guys have stepped up, and congratulations for stepping up. But a lot of you preppers and, hardcore people that went out in the last 5-10 years or so, and you have load-bearing vests. You have plate carriers with actual plates in them. And when you got them, you put them on and you stood in front of the mirror and you kind of turned left and right and smiled at yourself and you felt really good. When's the last time you put that stuff on and actually went out to the range in the heat with it? Well, I can't do that, Paul. Where I go, I mean, they make fun of me or something. So what now? Where you're at your range, if you were to show up and put on a plate carrier, they would make fun of you and they would call you tactical and stuff, so you don't wear it. Well, when exactly are you going to get used to wearing your armor? Well, I have that just in case there's an emergency. Like a Katrina or a Gustav or Ferguson riots or whatever. That's why I have it. So let me get this straight, Sparky. The day that the riots begin, you're going to put your armor on and you're going to wear it, but you've never worn it for more than 15 minutes at a shot. Yeah. Let me go ahead and tell you, that's not a good plan. Jared, how do you find out if the widgets and gidgets and gizmos and what's-its that you bought and attached to your rifle, how do you find out if those things actually are practical?
I'm going to go ahead and say you use them in a practical situation.
Yeah, you go to the range, you take training.
But I'm not allowed to give tactical advice.
No, you don't.
That's just my speculation.
For filling in the blank for me, though. It's like our bro Jay. Our buddy Jay says, he goes, "Man, dudes show up at the rifle or the range and they've got every accessory known to man screwed, bolted, and attached to their rifle." And I'm like, "Hey, what you got there, bro?" "Oh, man, I got a derp and this and that and the other." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And he said, and they struggle through the first several hours and they didn't Loctite any of the screws and the stuff falls off into the mud halfway through and, and he said, he goes, "They won't stop using it that day." He said, but it's funny how on day 2 of fighting rifle, how they show up and a lot of that stuff that was screwed and bolted and attached to their rifles isn't there anymore. Now, am I saying that accessories aren't important? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not an idiot. But what I'm saying is if you're going to put something on a gun, if you're going to buy gear, if you're going to buy plate carriers and armor and load-bearing vests and stuff, you might actually want to put it on your body, get your butt out to the range, and do some training and find out what really works and what doesn't. So that is your Student of the Gun homeroom for today, kids. All right, don't forget, Jared, tell them what their homework is.
I don't remember. Oh, leave an honest review on Apple TV. Those of you that have actually watched the Apple TV app and partaken in some video action there.
Yeah.
Leave us an honest review of what you think, because I base the changes that we make off of the reviews that you leave us. So,
and we put in, Jared, when I say we, I just stood in front of the camera like a trained chimpanzee and jumped up and down. But Jared and all the background people put in a lot of work to make sure that you would have Student of the Gun TV on demand 24 hours a day anywhere on planet Earth. Roku, Amazon Fire, and now Apple TV. So take advantage of that. It costs you literally nothing. Right?
Right.
All right.
It is free.
Okay, grad program people. Tomorrow, this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow on grad program. Kumo sticks it to New York again. And Boston's got a new plan. The people of Massachusetts and Boston specifically, they've got a new plan to keep us safe from bad guys. And you're not going to want to miss that. And we're also going to have the full audio of our Australian friend about terror and torture. So you're not going to want to miss that. So, grad program people, stand by. We will talk to you mañana. Everybody else, we will catch up with you next Monday.
If you want to become a member of the grad program so you can catch tomorrow's show, go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on the Become a Member tab, and then you can follow directions from there. There's a little table that tells you everything you get for the price. And if you haven't signed up yet, you have an opportunity to get a trial for 30 days for only $1, and that trial will not be there much longer. I'm going to take away the $1 trial.
I think that's going to end at the end of the summer of love. That will no longer be there.